Hey everyone, for the topic today we will be discussing about seasons. Yeah, you heard it right. We will be talking about season. Um but first thing first, I will there are some things I'd like to say. Um you notice that I use these just throw in app. Basically this is just regular Samsung Note. Um So that I was just thinking the other day, what if I just didn't just show blank screen? I can just do this, and it's better than black screen, right? So that you got some kind of visual, if you like that. And yeah, why I discuss about season? Well, because it's kinda simple. So it is actually now at the transition of season in my place. I live in near the Earth equator line, which means that I'm in the tropical, climate thing. Which means that uh, here in the Earth, basically, I live in near this, middle line, basically the equator. Like probably some of you guys live in the Europe, like up, or just in the US or Canada in general, or in Australia even, or in South area like Mexico and stuff like that. But not for me. I live in the middle borderline, and it got tropical season basically. So what is that? Basically, I only have two season during the whole year. During the whole year, we only got the dry season. Wait, the dry season, which is actually the same time with your summertime if you are in the northern hemisphere, and then uh, it starts around April. The transition, the first time it got changed the season, and just transition in general, and then it goes for another 6 month basically. So it's April, and then it go to May, June, July, August, September, and October, and in the November, uh, then we got ourselves rainy or wet season basically. Or wet. I would prefer to call it wet season because it literally is just wet. Uh, it's very humid, and and this, and yeah, it's just rain for the next 6 months, and just like that. And usually when stuff like this happens, it's rare to have like one day that is uh hot basically, or just dry in general. Like for instance, in this time there will be hot. It's kind of rare. um During the middle part, at least the middle part over here, um it usually just rain every day. And towards the end, or towards the start of this, in the transition time basically, there could be some some hot days or dry days in between those. But yeah, that's probably it. And then as for dry, it's the same. It The dry season is basically just dry. The air is just dry. The humidity is very low, and again in the in this middle time, it's just hot basically. It's rarely to have rain in those times. So uh, and the rain's probably at around the transition time basically, with a little bit of course the dry as well. And yeah, that's it. And um so what's the matter about these two seasons, like of course some of you probably don't know about this, right? uh so wait, where's my pen? Oh, this one. So during the transition, this actually is kinda bad because you're because you're used to long season, right? It's like 6 months, right? And it's actually you know your body got basically just shocked by the change from the start of the season. And during this time it's basically it's like the most vulnerable, where people got sick. It's kind of normal, like if it's the start of rain you'll get some kind of cold or flu and stuff like that, and this happens um, in general during December to January. And while the dry season, it happens around May actually. And yeah, well, this one you got cold, and in this one you got some kind of fever. Your body got overheated basically. And then not only that, it's also uh, there's stuff that happened during the peak of their you know season. Like for instance, during this dry season, in the middle time, it got too hot that stuff animals like mosquitoes got just there's a lot of them. And it becomes then you can see during this time it's around July to August, you will see the most case of blood fever from these pesky mosquitoes. But as for the rainy season, it doesn't actually have anything that bad. It's just um, it's not about the health from animals. It's more like the impact of the rain itself, because during this time it's around January to February. The rain got very uh there's lots of rain, and it just caused flood. It's just flooding everywhere basically. And um there's a lot of place that has flood, and this leads to uh similar case of this mosquito over here, because this has a flood. Then you got lots of bacteria in the water or stuff like that, and then you got sick basically. There's indirect effect about your health in general. And then because this has flood, then it means that the water got mixed basically. The clean water and the dirty water got mixed. And yeah, it's just basically a place for diseases. But that's only in the area which that has either bad sanitation, or by sanitation I mean bad river system, or in the lowland area, not low ground area. I mean, not at the high ground or around uh, what is called the mountain area. But even that, there's like problem too, because there's too many rain, so the land just basically got from the rain. It's just landslide, I think, just rock slide. And this actually is quite dangerous, and actually some people had to suffer because of this. Like of course myself, because we like to travel with my family and go to the mountain area to feel the cold or the coolness of the area. And then the road just got blocked, and there's just traffic jam everywhere. And then that they have to make a reroute for this. And even with this, it's still it still got traffic jam. And yeah, and it's not really that surprising about that, uh, since I live in those two seasons. I don't really get the chance to uh, enjoy your enjoy people at subtropic uh, you know season. Like for instance, you have summer, right? And then after that you have fall, basically. And then you got the winter, right? After the fall. And where is it? You got the winter, and then you got the spring after that, I believe. uh, and then it just basically cycle itself. And the period is 3 months, right? You have 3 months to do this full cycle. And actually I never get the chance to have winter. And then your summer is not you know as not your summer has, like, there is some time that has the highest temperature, right? Which I don't have. And then for fall and then spring, this is just, I don't have any of this. Like, this is just all in dry season, and also in the rainy system, basically. Rainy season, I mean, not system. Like for instance, during the dry season, some leaves just fall by itself. And then at the start of the season, and then there's just basically growing plants. And then another fall, and then another growing, and then another fall. Basically that's what happened in my season. And during winter, just got rain, 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 and rain every day with a little bit of dry. As I said earlier, there's no extreme case where the roof got covered um, by snow, thick snow, or even the road that has thick snow on top of it, that you guys probably need to excavate, right? Using the big truck or vehicle that scrape all the snow in the road. And yeah, the other noticeable thing is that during those time, if we take a look at the temperature, uh, let's put it like this. And during my season, it's basically just around this area, which has this is my rainy. And then this one is the dry, which is uh, you know hot. Actually I put that uh, in reverse. uh, should be the low at the left and high at the right. And then this one is just actually too hot that it can start fire, I believe, in your place, right? um, and then this one is the winter. And you guys probably has this temperature range. And yeah. Uh, so it's just for me it's just constant cycle between this area, and then the hottest day during the dry season is probably not as hot as yours, and the coldest one is not as cold as yours too. Like for instance, during the summer, I believe there is a certain time during August which has the peak temperature, in which people got, you know, um, homed. Basically, there's no things. There's limit to go outside because it gets too hot, and some people cannot handle the heat, like the heat stroke, overheating stuff. And then the same goes for the winter, because in the winter there's ice, right? There's ice everywhere. um, then it just means that the temperature got uh, below zero, because ice freeze at 0 degrees, and that does not include the impurities inside the water itself, which means that the freezing point is actually lower than zero. It's probably around minus something, I don't know. And yeah, um we never got that kind of stuff in the tropical, and it's basically just there's this threshold in which we cannot go too far high up in the hotness, hot temperature, and we cannot go lower than the threshold of certain cold um, temperature. But of course this is not always happen. This is not always like this, even in the uh, tropical area, because again, like I said earlier, I mentioned once about the low ground and the high ground. If it is high ground, you get actually there is some chances that we will get ice at the top, but not at the low. There's still water, but it's not snowy like that. It's just rain, but it's raining uh, ice basically, which is very harmful because this block of ice, has potential energy that can actually destruct structure. So yeah, that's basically it for today's talk. It's about season. My favorite season is actually the cooler one, which is the either the rainy season or the winter, if I ever got the chance to have it, which I don't, and I don't want, because if we got snow in the equator line, it means that the earth is basically screwed, and we don't want that, right? We don't want that kind of a political events to happen. And yeah, why I like those cooler ones? Because I personally cannot stand of the heat, and I really enjoy anything that's chill basically. Um, because during the if I got overheated, I just sweat a lot, and it's just not you know it's not comfortable at all. I prefer uh getting very cold rather than getting uh sweat a lot during the summertime. So yeah, I guess that will be it for today's episode, and I will see you again tomorrow, and goodbye.